The Great Fan Disaster. It started like any ordinary summer evening. The heat was unbearable, the air sticky, and poor Daniel sat in his tiny apartment staring up at his old ceiling fan. The fan groaned, creaked, and spun with the determination of a tired donkey. Daniel muttered, "Come on, buddy, don't quit on me now. You're all I've got between me and a heat stroke." But then, it happened. The fan gave one last heroic whir and suddenly began spinning faster, much faster. Papers flew off the table, Daniel's hair looked like he was in a rock concert, and the curtain snapped like sails in a storm. "Whoa!" Daniel shouted, holding onto his chair. "This isn't cooling me down. This is a Category 5 hurricane." The fan rattled wildly. One screw shot across the room like a bullet. A blade wobbled dangerously. Daniel dove behind the couch just as crash, the entire fan ripped free from the ceiling. It landed smack in the middle of the living room, still spinning like a deadly blender. Sparks shot out, smoke filled the room. Daniel peeked over the couch, wide-eyed. "This is it," he whispered dramatically. "This is how I die. Killed by my own fan." But then, something bizarre happened. Instead of catching fire and destroying everything, the fan spun itself across the floor like a runaway Roomba. It bumped into the coffee table, knocked over a bowl of popcorn, and miraculously began tossing popcorn into the air like a circus act. Daniel stood up, confused. "Wait, are you feeding me?" Sure enough, the spinning fan shot popcorn perfectly into his mouth. Daniel froze, then laughed hysterically. Moments later, the fan let out a final sputter, coughed out a puff of smoke, and collapsed lifeless. The room was a disaster.
Oh my goodness.
Curtains shredded, books scattered, smoke alarms screaming. But Daniel sat on the floor, munching popcorn. He raised the single kernel toward the fallen fan like a toast. "You may have tried to kill me, but in the end, you just wanted to share a snack." And with that, the Great Fan Disaster of Apartment 4B entered the history books of Daniel's life, equal parts terrifying, ridiculous, and oddly delicious.
Party time.
La 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 la. That's insane. Oh my goodness.